the anime that puts the humans versus the gods. It's one of those manga that has almost every religion or god from mythologies you can think of, honestly, if we're being honest. Like characters like Buddha, well, at least their interpretation of these different deities. You know, got popular ones like Thor, humans like Adam, aka the first human apparently that we know of, Jack the Ripper, an evil human man, Zeus from Greek mythology exists, same with Hercules, and many, many more. But the character I'm going to analyze today is the strong being known as Zeus. This manga is just in its infant stages, so most of these feats are probably going to be like a bare minimum, not their like absolute limits. This manga just started. So keep that in mind as you watch the video. Valkyries exist in this world. There's like this big tournament, gods versus mankind. Very simple premise is that mankind is threatened to total destruction. Their own creators, the gods themselves. This universe, the different pantheons have like these little council meetings. Of course, Zeus, the character I'm going over today, is one of those characters a part of the council meeting, Council of Valhalla, Zeus from Greece. Once every 1,000 years, the gods cross the realms gathered to hold a conference regarding the survival of mankind for the next 1,000 years. Should we forgive them or should we just put an end to them? It's really that simple. A vote. The gods believe that the humans didn't have any intention on repenting at all. Other deities agree. A lot of the deities agree that mankind is evil and harmful. And it seemed like it was clear cut. They was going to be just annihilated and that will be the end of the manga. Let me stop. We know this ain't the end of the manga. Oddly enough, it was weirdly a Valkyrie is the one that actually wanted to give mankind a chance. And this is pretty much how the whole anime or manga got started. She suggested God versus mankind, the Ragnarok. 1v1 showdown between gods and mankind. Evidently, they have this law in their clause to give the humans a chance by having them fight the gods, which sounds ridiculous for humans and gods to face each other one-on-one. No one's ever invoked this clause because apparently it was like a joke clause because everybody knows, like, it doesn't matter which god, even if we're talking about the weakest gods, in a one-on-one battle with the gods, there's no possible way they could 1v1 a deity. Like, no mortal man can do that, right? So it was kind of like a joke they put in. Valkyrie's pretty much the scapegoat, and she talks about how the bond between humans and Valkyrie are deeper than those of the gods. It was pretty much explained by the Valkyrie that's rooting for the humans that you can counter the gods' cheat code godlike weapons or abilities and things of that such with their own cheat code. That cheat code being a Valkyrie's body may take the form of any human weapon so they can obtain divinity or get ridiculous power to be able to hang with the gods. So the humans can hang with the gods because the Valkyries are pretty much helping them out by turning into overpowered weapons. Kind of similar to when you see my Marvel videos, how characters like Wolverine can stab super powerful beings like the Hulk because of his indestructible claws, even though the Hulk's muscles and their muscles are not even close when it comes to strength. Wolverine can still hurt beings like this because of gear. That's one way you can look at it when it comes to Record of Ragnarok. And that's why humans versus gods is even a contest, because the Valkyries are kind of help him out. That makes sense, right? But how strong is Zeus of this universe? Let's analyze his might. You can kind of tell he's strong just by the way he looks. Not to mention he technically has a lot of fighting experience. He's been around for a long time. But we see him while old. But it's implied he has different modes, like this form that we see most of the time when he's just chilling and relaxing. He gets a buffed up mode when he wants to get serious, and has even a greater mode where he's even crazier. It's a crazy overpowered top tier form that he can only use for about 12 to 13 minutes, so it pushes him to the very limit, where he looks very muscular and zombified looking, kind of overwhelming might. I'll get back to these later though, in not too long though. A good way to understand Zeus's might is other deities. When we're talking about straight physical stuff, we've seen him kind of physically bully another deity, like this multi-armed deity like Shiva. Not only that, had him looking nervous afterwards. We know they're talking about aspects of strength because when this multi-armed being like Shiva can fight, he fights with physical blows. So for Zeus to kind of bully him like this, it kind of lets you know how strong Zeus is, even though he wasn't in his highest form. This is his highest state right here. Why is Zeus overpowering him impressive? Considering this guy, it was stated when this being was introduced as being that Zeus's bullying has the power he creates for fun and can destroy the world on a whim, implying he can easily do stuff like this, like destroying the world. So right off gate, as a bare minimum, Zeus, even in his weakest state, should be able to do something similar, like blow away the moon or something, or destroy the earth. It's just right off gate, the video just starting, he should be able to already do stuff like this with his fists. There's evidence right here, for example, that he should be able to do whatever Shiva can do, because they talk about how Adam in this particular situation is the father of humanity. They talk about here how Zeus should be the father of the gods, implying even in God's standards, he should be pretty high up there in the hierarchy of food chain when it comes to raw power output. When Hercules and Ares was boxing it out with one another, you know, two other strong godlike beings with crazy super strength and stuff, Zeus is the one to stop their blows, both of them at the same time, making a shockwave after the punch. Imagine if Zeus actually transformed versus these two, if he can already stop their punches like this with his might, even in his little baby skinny mode. Matter of fact, Hercules in this continuity, it's because of Zeus why Hercules even exists the way he does. Zeus's blood is what made Hercules Hercules, gaining ridiculous strength. But it's also stated if you're not a true hero, you drink his blood, you won't get strength, you'll just die instantly. Crazy might. So we know if he can punch apart planets like this, imagine what his higher states can do with his punches if he wished. Not to mention other gods in this same tournament have similar statements about busting planets. Thor's weapon Mjolnir is stated to be capable of shattering the earth. And you guys know about the Norse giant serpent the size of the planet. You know, Thor has fought planet-sized creatures before, so these statements kind of do add up. This also should help you get an understanding of Zeus's power, who they described as omnipotent. I mean, that's probably an exaggeration, but yo, they call him the supreme god of the Greek faith, blah, blah, freaking blah. You can kind of get an idea of Zeus's power, like in this occasion, like I kind of mentioned earlier about how they called Adam the father of humanity. They call Zeus in this universe the father of the gods. They even go as far as calling him the godfather of the cosmos. Like, due to the way this show's nature is, I know these are just statements, but I wouldn't be surprised if these were to be taken literally. They're talking about statements of him using the power of creation at his own whim. Notice how he casually talks about him being thrilled like the Big Bang. Like, he hasn't been through it like this since the Big Bang, implying he's been here since the beginning of the cosmos, meaning he could be older than a lot of the other gods. Like, he mainly specializes in just straight up sticking you with his raw power. Its implications right here, he's making this bullcrap float with telekinesis, one could say. Yeah, probably a very versatile character. While young, Zeus took on his father, Kronos. His father was somebody to not scoff at. He was somebody that was considered the mightiest titan and the personification of time itself. Not to mention size means nothing, even though he still won, despite his father being this large. One could say part of the reason why he can punch or hit so hard is because he's stupidly fast and can throw his fist at stupidly fast speeds. Like when it comes to raw speed, he can spam punches in less than a second, y'all. And each punch gets even faster, like how he spammed punches here. All this happening in less than a second. The punches get even faster. It gets to the point where it's pretty much proven he can punch at light speed or even faster than the speed of light by a large margin, because the punching speed starts off like this, how he threw this less than a second. And then from there, the speed ends up, if you do the calculations, the punches get even faster and even faster and even faster. Like, he punches so fast, it's like meteors raining. His punching speed is so fast that it appears as his fist is coming from every direction. It looks like he has multiple arms at this point. His punching speed increases even more. So even if you just want to deny his punching strip, just from him being able to punch this fast, you know he's got to be able to hit hard. Same with his kicks. Oh yeah, Zeus does have combat speed, by the way. He can dodge attacks that are similar to his own attacks because Adam was literally copying his abilities, showering fists in less than a second, and it keeps getting faster. Zeus is still able to dodge it. He does get hit, showing he can withstand attacks that's like pretty much his own attack hitting him. Like, Zeus can literally move like this. Imagine having speed to where it looks like you have multiple arms. And trust me, it gets worse. He can already throw punches way faster than the speed of light, or one could say massively faster than light. This is one of the strikes he actually learned from his father, stole from his father. When it comes to his punching speed, one could say he achieved speeds even greater than speeds way faster than the speed of light itself. One could say this punch itself achieved infinite speed, the fist that surpassed time. It also shows Zeus's durability to be able to withstand such an attack that surpasses time. One could say he has some decent healing factor compared to other people, because even when his head is completely hit all the way around, he can come back. So he has a punch in his arsenal that can achieve, one could say, infinite speed, surpassing time itself. And what makes Zeus scary is that this isn't even his highest freaking form, guys. Let's talk about his mightiest form. You would think a buffed up form like this would be his mightiest, but it's actually not. Not to mention it actually causes damage to him, rattling his old bones. So it's like a double-edged sword, one could say. Compressing his own flesh. It actually hurts him, the final form. I mean, they say this like this is a crutch, like I mentioned this earlier, but is this really a crutch saying he can only hold this for 12 or 13 minutes? This is actually a long time when you consider how fast he can throw a single punch. So this really is plenty of time, honestly. When you can throw light speed or massively faster than the speed of light punches, holding a form for 12 or 6 minutes is plenty of time to get the job done, I would say. Like, it's statements like this and all this stuff put together. They stated here that he could destroy heaven. Do they mean like infinite size, a universal size construct? Is that what they mean? When you consider that he has weaker forms that can punch with infinite speed, and that wasn't even his highest form, he got a higher form than that. Not to mention he considers the Big Bang itself a thrill. You know, the thing that made the entire universe. One could argue that he's universal, but we don't have a lot of showings of stuff like this. Stated he can destroy heaven itself. This true God punch here, like this is Mighty Estates punch, stockpiling his energy through physical compression of his muscle. He directs that power into his fist to release one intense blow, the strongest strike. The reason why this human Adam was able to give him such an issue is because he literally has the eyes of the Lord. How fast do you think these punches was him in his mightiest state like this? Do you think all these punches were infinite speed punches or massively faster than the speed of light? Like, how did your punch get faster than infinite when this punch is supposed to be higher, you know? Do you think in this form this statement should be taken literal, of him being able to destroy an infinite-sized realm, or a cosmos, or universe in general? Do you think Zeus, in his mightiest state, can punch apart a universe? I want to hear your thoughts below on that. Or do you at least think he can tremble it? I want to hear your thoughts below. Or do you think he can only bust stars on a planet and stuff? This series is pretty new, so we'll probably see more feats soon. What do you guys think about Zeus? Do you respect him? But before I get going, gotta give a quick thanks to the donators. Helps out a lot. Respect Zeus. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.